Hey everyone, this is Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and I wanted to do a quick update video on my depth year. And we're about a month in, actually, a solid month in. Today is actually February 1st. And I thought, periodically I'll touch base with you to let you know how I'm doing with it, how everything is going. So some interesting observations that I made about my depth year so far is that now that I have this going on, I have been really, excuse me, apologies. I've really been cognizant and aware that I don't want to mess this up. I am holding myself accountable. And I have now put it out to the world that I'm doing this. So I really think that has influenced me because I have not bought anything. The only thing that I did get, but I had already had that as a part of my conditions check my depth year terms and conditions video out for more about my rules that I've imposed on myself. But if I had things on my wish list from 2019 or before, then, and let's say they were, just come out, just released, or maybe they're going to be going out of print in 2020, I'm allowed to get those decks. It was only 3 or 4 decks that fit that criteria. I have since been finding decks that I like, and I've been putting them on my wish list. But when I say my wish list, I have a wish list. I have a Excel spreadsheet wish list. So so for the decks that I found this year, 2020, I put in the comment that this was found in 2020 and that this will be something I have to visit in 2021. Or if people want to give me that, like a family member who wants to give me, they're okay, for Christmas or your birthday, they want to do that, then they can do that. But, yeah, I personally am not going to be buying that deck until 2021 if I'm still wanting it at that point. So I did that. And so I like that. And that felt good. So some decks that have been coming out on Kickstarter, I'm like, oh gosh, I wish I could back them. But then I always, some of them are actually the Emerging from Darkness deck. That is actually on my wish list. And it was on my wish list in 2019. But I thought, I can wait and see how this thing goes and pump my brakes and get it at another time or not. Let's see how it goes. And that's been nice. It's been kind of taking the pressure off. I've been filling up my time that I normally spend searching for decks or searching for new books or searching for some other new, something or another, a new crystal, something. I've been using that to channel back that energy back into creative projects that has started to lie dormant in my life. I started to deepen my relationships. This was not just a depth year for about deepening my connection with things. It was also a depth year of deepening my connection with my relationships, with my friendships. My partner, and I are really deepening our connection with my kids again, just I'm looking at that flame it's a lot of flame. So the depth year means a lot more to me. I actually made monthly goals for myself to reach out to certain friends. And I put on there the times, where I'm going to be having lunch with friends or dinner with friends, or just making a quick phone call or making sure I reach out via text. Just really deepening relationships I already have. Deepening my, how far I go with projects, and also my spiritual practices. They kind of also have fall by the wayside. So it's been nice to reconnect again with certain things. So I really am now more conscious and aware of my consumerism, or my relationship with consumerism and materialism. I love collecting decks. In fact, I'm grateful I did. I now understand I was in a place of accumulating. And it's okay to be in a place of acquisition. It's okay to be in a place of procuring decks that you want to use all the, hopefully all the time. Or maybe you just got it, got certain decks for collection purposes only. And I started to look and analyze why I got a particular deck. I, could look at in here, for example. This is my little, where I store some of my decks. You can't see it here, I just open it. But why did I get this deck? I mean, here is my beloved, Delta Enduring Tarot deck. And I will probably, I rarely use it. I don't know if it's ever going to go back into print or not. So right now it's out of print. I get people regularly asking me about purchasing this deck. And at this time, folks, I am not going to sell this deck. I love it so much because it represents a certain location of where my parents are from. They're from Mississippi. And although this is in the Delta, which is like more Louisiana, not Mississippi, the Mississippi Delta, but I love the backs. I love this deck so much, but I don't use it often. I use it every now and then. And it could be because I know that it, is special to me and it's special to people. And so I started to look at my relationships to certain decks and realizing it's okay that I got it because it's a collector's item. It's okay that I got a deck because I impulse bought something in the middle of the night one night. I did it. It's done. Now I want to be more aware and cognizant and present in my purchases. You know what I mean? Like really understanding why a deck needs to come into my collection. Being more intentional about it. And so the purchases where I was kind of like making them in the middle of the night aren't really going to happen anymore. For me, I really want to not do that anymore. I really want to be much more intentional about the decks that are coming into my collection. And so, I forgave myself for like those impulse buys because I do love my collection. Honestly, I look at some of these decks and I'm like, oh yeah, I could totally revisit these. Some of these decks in here are gifts from people. Some of these decks are first editions, that may be worth something. Some of them are mass market and I adore them. And some I probably may end up selling or trading or, gifting down the line or putting in a giveaway. I don't know. But I really have been analyzing in a just non-judgmental way about how did my collection get to this point. I have about, let's just say 150 decks, probably give or take, maybe 150, 160 decks. And it's at a point now where I can enjoy them and I feel like I could go shop my decks where I could like go and it never be bored again, honestly, because I have the number of decks I have is such that I can go in and enjoy them. But now I know that it can come to a point where it becomes too much. It probably already maybe is too much, but I haven't felt that. So if I haven't felt that, it's fine. But I've been keeping a journal it's pretty daily, of my experiences with my death year, because I want to be able to call upon it. Like when I finally do like a year-end analysis of my death year, my 2020 death year, I want to be able to look back and see what are some important takeaways from this. And it's been cool. Let's see if I have any excerpts. There have been some gorgeous decks too, by the way, that are coming out, that are about to be on Kickstarter, that are, and I just, if I see them, I put them on my wish list and for next year. And I'm proud of myself it's only been a month, but I'm proud of myself for, even though I've given myself an out of getting some decks that are on the wish list. I haven't. And I love that I've just been saying, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy the decks I got. And that's been cool. And, yeah, it's been fun. I'm like, oh, here, I'm just going to kind of go through. I won't take up too much of our time because I just want these Death Year update videos to be quick. I will say that clothes were put on my Death Year list, but I also, with that, is if there's a specific need, and I am going to probably have to get some more work pants, some not like suit separates, just a couple of professional pieces that I can have and mix and match, but it's a necessity for my, for my work. So gonna do that, but that's okay. That's okay. And so far I haven't felt the need to go really clothes shopping either. So, but, some standouts here. January 4th, I went to one of my favorite little stores in the next town over that sells crystals, tarot decks, all that new agey stuff that we love so much. And, I needed to get a replacement selenite little pencil wand that I like to use when I'm doing readings. And because I broke one, and I went in there and actually just bought that. I was pretty proud of myself because they had new decks, they had new beautiful crystals, but I went in there with my specific purpose, which was to replace the selenite pencil wand, and that's what I did. So I was proud of myself for that. I realized that I had a lot of money that needed to be diverted, or not a lot of money. I had money and many opportunities to be diverted to other things aside from tarot, like my son's graduation from high school, or I want to help my son my oldest, who lives in Atlanta. I want to be able to help him to be able to fly out here for my middle son, his high school graduation. I have other trips I want to plan for our family, and I have the Tarot Symposium I'm going to in March. So I have other things. Now that's going to be a true test for me, because it is a smorgasbord for tarot readers. You're going to the Tarot Symposium. I am going to bring some decks to put on the potlatch table where you put your things, your books, your decks, your crystals, whatever you may have that you no longer, want to keep in your collection. You put on the table, and then you can take something ideally of the same or less value. Take that with you and take it on your merry way, and it's free. So I'll probably do that to kind of feel like, okay, I am in this heaven for tarot decks. I mean, all the new deck, like the creators are there, the deck creators are there. That's how I got, it's downstairs shoes in my office. I want can't even think of it right now, but I got some soon to be, or first edition decks, Oracle decks, that were hot off the presses, literally were just printed like a few days before, just in preparation for the Tarot Symposium. And you're there to see the creator, and they sign the book or sign the deck. And so there's crystals, and there's decks, and there's sprays, and there's all sorts of wonderful goodness. But I am there for the courses and deepening my knowledge base for my business and my tarot practice, my healing modality that I do. So I'm going there with that. I'm going to bring a few decks to keep me busy and keep me entertained, and maybe even see if some of my friends who are going to be going to the Tarot Symposium, seeing if they have any decks they want to trade with me. I don't know. I'm going to get creative, guys. I'm going to get creative. That's the plan. But I just realized that I'm like, I did okay, in January. February, I'm probably going to be great. because I have the Hoodoo Tarot mass market, but it's going to be released on February 18th. And I think the Crown Oracle, which I backed on Kickstarter, is going to be probably delivered in another month or two. So I have a couple of decks that were ordered last year, whenever, last year, that will be coming. So that'll kind of temper things. But March, when I'm at the Tarot Symposium, that's going to be the true test. That is the true test. True test. I talked about interviewing for jobs. Yeah. Right now, another test, you guys. The gym fair comes around about 4 times a year, and the first time it comes is February, and it's happening this weekend in the next town over. And I usually go, and the last couple of times I've gone and actually maybe just bought a couple of things, like just a couple of little things that I might need, some sacred clearing things, smoke and clearing with smoke, like Palo Santo or something like that. But as of late, I haven't really bought anything, but I always like to go, just to go see what crystals are out there. And I have one more day. It comes Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today's Saturday. And I'm like, ooh, what's going to happen, Am I going to go tomorrow? We'll see. But the crystals are also on a no-buy list. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm happy, guys. It's not a bad thing. It's been a journey, and I love it. I love learning more about myself. I love taking time to read books again and getting to know the decks that I have. I love being much more intentional about what's coming into my collection going forward. In the coming months ahead, I am going to be identifying decks that I will be selling, trading, and gifting, and also including in giveaways. So keep a lookout for that. I will probably be even posting them in my Facebook group. I think I'm going to start in my Facebook group allowing for, like maybe trades once a month where we do that. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, trades or sales, we'll see it. I don't want it to become that kind of environment, like it's full on selling or trading, but maybe just once a month. But keep a lookout because that I may be putting some stuff on for sale or for trade, or I may just include them in giveaways depending on what else I include in my giveaways. We'll see. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me with my depth year. Are you going through a depth year yourself similarly? And if so, how's it going for you? How are you getting along? Have you had some struggles, some hiccups? Do you have tips? What are you doing? I also have been tracking the decks kind of loosely. When I love a deck, I put it on my wish list. So, and I put how much it is, including shipping. So I've been kind of keeping a tally, at least of tarot decks. And maybe I should create a crystal wish list. So that way, when I'm back to buying and accumulating and in an acquisition phase of my life, where I'm trying to acquire things, I will go to that list and say, oh yeah, I wanted to get that. Do I still want that? We'll see. But it's nice to see the dollar amount because then you can see how much you're saving. And that's just, 2 of the 3 major things, or 4, because it's books, crystals, tarot decks, and clothing, and like shoes, accessories. So it's all of those things. So I'm not tracking like clothes and accessories, and not even really books, because books I'm going to be able to get away with library, with trading and selling at my favorite local secondhand bookstore. So I'm not going to really track that. But the decks, I'm going to track how much I'm saving. It's just interesting to observe. And then journaling about how I feel about this whole process, in this experience, the ups and downs, the struggles, all of that good stuff. So it's been really actually kind of fun. It's been kind of this fun experiment I've been on, and it's been nice on my pocketbook too, not gonna lie, because hey, it's nice to save money on that too. So anyways, that's what's been going on with me with my depth year. I want to hear from you all. What are your thoughts? Even if you're not doing a depth year, maybe next year you'll explore it, or maybe you'll do it for 6 months. You can make it also a low buy depth year, or you can make it where you just have a certain criteria or a certain thing. Some people are, they stop themselves from buying a bunch of stationery. I could see how it can get crazy. Like, I started a hobby of planning, and I think that's kind of what also has helped me to not focus so much on my deck collecting. But I could see too, like, I might switch and put that on a no or low buy next year. And low buy would be, I will allow for me being able to buy replacements and such. So all of that. I don't want this video too long, because, it's more like a vlog of my depth year experience, and I want to keep them as short and sweet as possible. I've got a lot of vlogs going on, guys. You're going to see more of another one about me quitting my 20-year insurance career and moving into the public sector. So I talk about that. I got that going on. Got a lot going on. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you want more videos from me, I hear that when you subscribe. So when you hit the subscribe button, that tells me you're wanting more videos from me. So let me know, folks. All right, guys. See you all in the next video. Love ya.